Hey, folks, thank you so much for joining us once again. Now, most of you know me as the host of this program. I do my best to come in upbeat and chipper and alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. But today, it's Wednesday. And I'm a little bummed because that means we're halfway through our time with Pastor Mark Sigstad, missionary to West Africa, 40 years. But that does mean we're going to look at this cup half full, okay? We still have half the time with him, so I'm going to need you to tune your ears. We've had a great time Monday and Tuesday hearing about how God worked in his heart, in his wife's heart. Great lady, Miss Linda, and I'm so excited for you to hear specifically, beginning today, Thursday, Friday, how God uses Bible tracts, how God uses gospel tracts. Now, I'll say this right from the get-go. I'm very thankful that Bible Tracts Incorporated is not the only gospel tract printer and producer in the world. I'm so my friends over at Fellowship Tract League, the director John Brown, the pastor Brother Burrows, Brother Mark Porter over at Lifegate, and many others, I think of Bearing Precious Seed. I want you to understand those ministries and Bible Tracts Incorporated, we are not, have never been, and never will be in competition. Actually, I will say this, we're in competition with the evil one, the one who would like to see people spend eternity in hell. We are all yoke fellows. We are co-laborers. We're soldiers together in the army of the Lord. And I'm so thankful to be talking to a gentleman. Now, you have used, we'll get to this in a moment, you've used gospel tracts from multiple different producers, a Mercy and Truth there in Kansas. So many good folks. Talk to us for just a moment. Now, we're going to talk about a specific gospel tract in just a moment, but talk to us about the importance of gospel tracts.
You know, a lot of things, people in America, I think of the opportunities, but we're busy people. Mm-hmm. And, as a pastor, as a missionary, there are times when I want to talk to somebody, but I really don't have time. I may be on a journey. I'm on an airplane, and I've got a limited amount of time. It may be that I'm just getting off an airplane, and I've not been able to talk even to, the captain. But he's standing there.
Right.
Well, he's in my path. And, I can't stop and, 200 people waiting to get off the airplane to present the gospel. But if I have a tract in my pocket, what I do, and, I try to be nice and friendly. One of our mantras in Africa is like smile, wave, and be friendly, because we want to encourage people. But that captain is standing there to thank me for basically flying, and he's saying thank you to everybody. Thanks for traveling with Delta. And I can reach in my pocket and have him hand him a tract and say, listen, I appreciate you guys taking good care of us. Let me help you. And present a tract. Now, you're talking the tracts that we've got, the multitude of tracts that you print and, Fellowship Tract League, Bearing Precious Seed, John Romans, all of those things work. And the value of tracts in my mind is that if I don't have time to witness to somebody, then I can give them the gospel and still be on my way. The other thing I like, and I've heard you say this, we've known each other for a while, and I've heard you say this, leave tracts like breadcrumbs in your wake. And I love that because, I travel through airports when I'm in Africa. I'm, talking to people in a market, and I'm just handing out tracts to everybody because they're busy also. And to take a tract, and, my church name may be on the back or my name may be on the back, and give the gospel to someone. And I don't know what they're going through. They're not a member of my church. It's just somebody that I've met. And they may be going through a heartache. They may be going through kind of a trial. And the tract is the thing that's going to kind of lift them up. And they're going to get encouraged. But then it's like, okay, where do I go from here? Absolutely. And the tract, can give the complete gospel or just a tract for encouragement. Something, that's why I love your ministry. You got a lot of different tracts. I've used a lot of different tracts from the Fellowship Tract League, and I'm grateful.
Amen.
The thing, and just let me give a plug here for all the tract ministries that I've used. Never a cost.
Amen.
And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for people who support them. Now, I'm a missionary, and God, my finances come through good people who support us on a monthly basis. But if we had to pay for the tracts, and I'm going to talk about, in Africa, and I mentioned this or alluded to this yesterday, that in America we kind of treat tracts like almost like a business card or an invitation, But in Africa, it's a totally different use of tracts. Something that we maybe don't understand in America, but could be used here if we, Christians, would kind of get on board and say, okay, I have a responsibility to get the gospel out where I live.
Amen.
Now, because I'm a missionary, it's like, oh, yeah, well, he's reaching the world. He needs tracts. But I always tell people in Lagos, Nigeria, or Accra, Ghana, which are the capital cities, Lagos is the commercial capital of Nigeria. If I'm standing in Lagos and you're standing, let's say, in Washington, D.C., well, from my perspective in Lagos, you're on the foreign mission field.
It's all in how you look at it.
Yeah. So our Jerusalem can change.
Right.
But the world is still there. So there's always a foreign mission field. But it may not be, a foreign mission field with brown or black-skinned people or, Dutch people or English people who are eating fish and chips. It may be the guy sitting in New York City eating a pizza,
right.
Or a guy in Philadelphia eating a Philly cheesesteak. All right, not a chili feast steak. A chili, and so the idea of a foreign mission field. And as a missionary, tracts are key for me to start a new church. And when we start talking about church planting, I don't go when we've never just showed up and planted a church. It takes time. And one of the things I do in my mind is like, okay, I need like 6 weeks to kind of get the word out. I find a building, make sure that I've got chairs and a pulpit and offering plates and all of that. But you don't get all that ready and then just open your doors and put a signboard out and say, hey, we got a new church here. People aren't going to come. And I want people to know who we are. And so instead of me printing flyers, because that does cost money, and the flyer is only going to tell I got a new church. And the thing is, if I'm in a market someplace and I'm getting ready to start a church, I take like 6 weeks, 6 days a week. I'm out and I'm engaging the community. And if I talk to somebody for like 3 or 4 minutes, I'm passing them. Say, hey, listen, I'm Pastor Mark. We're starting a new church over here on this part of the city. And the person's like, wow, that's great. I need to give them a tract so they know where the church is at. And the honest truth is, Micah, I might not see them. They may not come to church.
Right.
And so they may not come to hear the gospel, but I've engaged them. And now I need to give them a tract.
Yes, sir.
So that the gospel, and if we have time, this week, we got a couple more days, I tell the story about the man that I didn't,
right.
I didn't care enough about.
Yes,
And my opportunity passed, and all I would have had to do was to give that man a tract, but I didn't.
Yes, sir.
And that's a sad thing. But I can tell you some great stories about what God has done just through a tract.
Amen.
And I, in Nigeria, we have passed out. In Ghana, we have passed out. We did one day where we passed out 100,000 tracts. But it's not like, one track at a time. We were literally standing in the middle of a road and buses were coming by and taxi cabs, and we were offering tracts to them. And a bus would come by and we'd give them like 50 tracts. And we would only say one word. The bus would slow down and the driver would are those gospel leaflets? That's what they call them, gospel leaflets. And we would say yes. And we would take a bundle of tracts, 25 or 35 or 40, whatever was in the bundle, and we'd reach up to the driver and we would say one word, share. And everybody inside knew what that meant. That meant that there's one for me. And they may not, they're busy. They're on the road. They're driving. And so we can give them a tract and give them the gospel. And the day we handed out the 100,000 tracts, in 90 minutes for the next 6 weeks, somebody came to every service. There was at least one person who walked in our church carrying a tract, saying, we got this on Saturday on the road. And, somebody, they may have gotten in a taxi, on a bus, and we were at a university that was having a graduation. So we were handing out tracts to the graduates and the visitors. And then there were other pastors who came to get tracts so they could pass them out in their church. That's why I'm grateful for, Bible Tracts Inc. All right. I know it's BTI, folks, but, I'm old school, Bible Tracts Inc., where they provide tracts to me for free.
Well, and while you were saying that, it made me realize when those of you that are listening right now, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time to listen, but don't just take this broadcast like you're listening to a baseball game or a football game, something that's happening far away with these players or these participants that really don't have any bearing on you. What I'm doing right now, what we're trying to do right now is I'm offering you, yes, through the radio, through our website, Bible Tracts Inc., I'm offering you, really physically, that bundle of tracts to you, the listener, right now. And I'm telling you, I'm giving you one word: share. You have an opportunity right now.
That's
you
right.
can go to
That's
Bible
right.
Tracts Inc. You can go to our friends at Fellowship Tract League, Life Gate, the God's Simple Plan, and Mercy and Truth. All these different great ministries, like you just said, that gives gospel tracts away for free. And what you could do right now is you could be that one. And really all we are, Brother Mark, is we're just a conduit. There's nothing special about me. You 40 years in ministry, and you'd say the same about yourself.
Right.
We're nothing special. We're not MVPs by any stretch of the imagination. No, we've just made ourselves available. And what we'd like to do is to allow you, as a Christian worker, which we all should be, to give you the tools you need to reach the lost people around you. That reminds me, you said something towards the beginning of this broadcast. You talked about you don't know what people are going through.
That's
you don't
right.
know the
That's
hurts they
right.
have.
That's right.
I have a gospel tract in my hand. It's called The Warrior. I don't know if you've seen, a company. My dad was in the Army, and I remember seeing on the parade grounds during like a battalion or even brigade change of the command,
Yes.
5,000-6,000 soldiers standing out there, so triumphant, so strong, the masculinity, all those things, right? It was a armored division. You have tanks out there, just crazy. But I realize that even people as brave and as strong, as courageous, people like that, they can be hiding some secret fears,
Right.
some
That's right.
some
That's
hurts on
right.
the inside. The world calls it these days PTSD and all these things. But the Bible has some peace that it offers. The Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ, offers you peace. And we have a gospel tract that speaks to that precise issue. It's called The Warrior. You can get it for free right now on BibleTractsInc.org. It's FREE. That still spells free. So you can get it today. I'm going to encourage you. We only have 2 days left with Pastor Mark. You're going to want to join us. We're going to dive deep tomorrow into some tract stories. You're happy about hearing the theory of it. But let's talk about the practical side of gospel tracts. Pastor Mark, thanks for being with us.
Yes.
I'm excited to talk tomorrow and Friday. Invite your friends to listen to this broadcast. I want to thank you for listening. I want you to have a great day for His glory. God bless.
Thank you for joining us today for Bible Tract Echoes, a ministry of Bible Tracts Incorporated. If you would like to receive a free sample packet of all of our tracts, you can contact us by calling 309-828-6888. That's 309-828-6888. Our mailing address is P.O. Box 188, Bloomington, Illinois, 61702. A faster way to contact us is to go to our website at BibleTractsInc.org. That's BibleTractsInc.org. There you will find more information about our ministry and details on how you can support Bible Tracts Incorporated. Thanks for listening, and may the Lord richly bless you as you serve Him.